I appreciate you wanting to be a part of this.
Of course.
And well, for those who may not know who I'm talking to Sammy. So why not? Usually I start with just like background. So why not start just with like how you like maybe your background in gaming, like what brought you into the gaming world, and what why Twitch?
Well, uh, I think what started my whole gaming career, I guess you could call it, is I started playing a lot of, like most of us girls and maybe guys, like Webkins. I used to make my parents go out and buy me Webkins so I could have different characters on my Webkins video game page. Also, Neopets. I played a lot of Neopets as a kid. And that slowly progressed into The Sims. And then I went from that to RuneScape. And I used to play RuneScape a lot. Um, that's kind of where that came from. And then I decided to do Twitch because my older brother had mentioned it to me, and I had no idea what Twitch was. And he was convincing me. He was like, it'd be great to see you on Twitch because there aren't a lot of girl streamers at the time. There wasn't, and he just thought it'd be a good idea. And of course, I just like shrugged him off because I don't want anybody telling me what to do. So I, so
Right.
I basically just started watching Twitch and I fell in love with it. I loved being a part of people's communities. I loved being able to watch other people play video games, which is something I did as a kid all the time because I used to watch my brother's game all the time, and it just felt so, I don't know, comforting to me. So I decided to give it a shot, and yeah.
Hmm. I mean, same way. I was encouraged by a former friend to give it a try, and it was more like, well, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So just give it a try. And I mean, I have taken to streaming, and I enjoy just the social aspect. It just gives you something to do, and I like you said, I enjoy being a part of people's communities.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great part of Twitch. Honestly, you get to meet people from all over the world that you wouldn't normally meet, which is amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly. That's what like the one I go to is one. Actually, Lyle said, I know you. I don't know if you met him yesterday or you've known him
Yeah,
before. That he
yeah,
said, a kid from Missouri knows, people in England and people in, Australia and people from all over the world. And it's like, it's
yeah.
crazy to think that, that's the case. And it's like, I mean, that's the perfect, that's the perfect way to think about it. Like some random person in the Midwest knows people from, or even me, I know people in England, Australia, Florida, California. It's like it's
Hmm.
crazy.
It absolutely is. It's wild what the internet can do.
Yeah.
How far it can reach is absolutely incredible.
I mean, and I know you're, I would say a variety streamer, I
Oh,
guess.
absolutely. Yeah, that's how I would label myself.
Have you always been a variety streamer, or did you
No,
use a game to establish a foundation and then transform?
absolutely. That's exactly what I did. Well, I didn't necessarily mean to do that. It's just what happened. I started with Dota, which is an unfortunate start. Sorry if anyone really enjoys Dota. It sucks. Anyways, so I I used to play Dota a lot, and it was very much my journey to learning how to play Dota. That was my whole premise,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that was exciting. Hated it. It was horrible. Yeah, but that's what I started with. What about you? What did you do?
I was actually I had the rep as an Among Us streamer early on.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I
When
started
did
with
you?
September 2020.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of a newbie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And once Among Us' popularity curtailed, that's what started me branching into the I tried a few other games as the main, but then I started branching back into the variety.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Variety's where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, I always try, because it's like, why people always told me, when I first started, it was like, oh, you don't want to focus on games just because they're popular, because what will make people choose you over the popular streamers?
Yeah.
And that's why you go somewhere, a different direction. And that's why I chose variety, because it's like, well, if I'm going to play Warzone, what's going to make people choose me instead of, Nick Merckx or, Courage or, one of those known Warzone streamers?
Yeah,
Nothing.
absolutely.
Unless I make it entertaining, which is what I do when I play Warzone. I make it entertaining,
Yeah, of course.
even if it's just entertaining to me.
Well, that's honestly the most important part. If I'm being completely honest, is if you're having a good time, then who cares?
Right.
That's
Right.
that's why variety streaming's great, because you don't have to stick to one game. You can play whatever game you're feeling you want to play that day, or what's going to bring you the most joy, which is nice.
Right, and I've tried, maybe shifting to more maining but keeping variety,
Hmm.
because I also have a tendency to drag out games as long as I possibly can
Oh yeah,
and, get as much content possible out of the games.
God, we're complete opposites.
Yeah.
I play a game for like 3 days and I'm over it.
What? I think, Tony Hawk from November of last year, and now I'm taking a break from it. I just,
Tony Hawk. I
well,
used to play that as a kid.
nostalgia trips
Yeah.
sell. They
Oh
get people's
yeah.
attention.
Uh-huh. It genuinely does. It's
Mm-hmm.
great. I one time streamed Club Penguin, and oh my gosh, so many people were so excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, I stream Tetris now, and people get excited about it just because of the background music on Tetris.
Crazy, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
I
great.
mean, what? I used to stream Pac-Man all the time. Miss Pac-Man.
Oh, Pac-Man. Good choice. Good
Mm,
choice.
mm-hmm. Anything,
Pac-Man's fun.
anything that my old computer could handle.
You're okay. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
Anything that my old computer could handle.
You're
That
like, yeah, I'm doing this for the nostalgia. In reality, it's just like my computer can't run anything.
wink, 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 nudge, nudge.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, but that, and then that's because I see, because another friend usually or used to have the schedule where he would play a game for a few days a week and then switch to a different game the following week and then go back to the game he played the previous week. Like he would main certain games but do it week to week instead of,
Yeah.
you know, doing it the other way. But I'm like, because people would always tell me, oh, somebody's not going to come back. People are less likely to come back if they know you're not going to play, the game that they want you to play for a week. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, okay, don't come back then.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think
go ahead.
that mentality that you're talking about is probably one of the most toxic mentalities to have while Twitch streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Is to being so worried about if other people are going to come back if I do this or if I do that, or what my numbers are going to do if I play a different game. I don't know. And I understand people play the game like that, the game of Twitch that is, but I
Right.
could never I could never do that. How do people do that and not just pull their hair out?
Oh, in the notebook I have all the stuff for the, I think it's this notebook. I had all analytics down of stats for, what my social media posts were doing for streams, what the streams were doing, what the, just to keep track of the games. Now I just keep track of, okay, what the actual stream does.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as it's over, what I think it's like, I said, as long as the stream gets over like 15 views, then it's good. Otherwise, well, then was it the time that I played the game? You know, was it, the title? Was it this? Was it that? And it's like,
Yeah.
eh,
Yeah,
because,
you
well,
can
yeah,
make yourself crazy with that.
well, yeah. And now I just say, okay, well, if I'm gonna main a game, I'm gonna pick the games that I want to main, and main the games that I want to main, and even if they're
Yeah.
not popular, well, then it'll be okay. Then if you guys don't like what I'm doing, I'm going back to variety then.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So You
I
know,
feel like
but
there's always a niche group for everything.
oh
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
oh yeah,
So
yeah. I
play what
mean,
you want to
right,
play.
right,
The right people will find you.
right. And I mean, that's what it was with Among Us. But it was the problem with Among Us, and I don't know how you uh, differentiated yourself in this aspect, but we can. Among Us attracted a a certain demographic that after a while that I wanted to shy away from because as far as you know the uh, the financial side of Twitch, that
Yeah.
demographic that Among Us was attracting was not giving me the financial benefit. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, no. Yeah, not at all. People were just looking to jump into games with people. I got a lot of toxic people too when I was playing Among Us. Among Us always brings out like the weirdos for me.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's one of the reasons why I also shied away from it because people were making the game that I used to thoroughly enjoy unenjoyable.
Yeah. People why do people do that?
Because they don't, because some people just don't understand the concept of touching grass.
Yeah, really though. Really though. Seriously. Like it's like what happened to you as a child that we need to talk about?
I
I don't
mean,
know.
that's what like the people that I have no problem with people who main games, like people
Yeah.
who Apex or Warzone or whatever, and it's just like I just can't understand playing the same game, even as a
Mhm.
streamer, playing the same game every day for
Yeah.
8 to 10 hours a day or 12 hours a day or whatever the case is,
Yep.
and then coming back and playing the game the next day.
Yep.
I
Oh yeah,
can't
no.
understand that.
I have friends actually that that's what they do. They play like one game on stream and they'll tell you that it has become a job fully. Like they hate that game now.
Right,
But it's what people come to see, so they have to play it and it's super unfortunate that they like box themselves in like that, but I guess, they see it as a business rather than like a luxury kind of a situation, you
right,
know? I don't know.
right. Like
Yeah, no. I couldn't do it either.
yeah, no, not at all. I mean, I know. I mean, I may be overhyping it, but I know people would probably come and see me play Fortnite. But
Yeah.
I despise the game.
Really?
I never I don't well I don't hate the game. I just don't like I never got into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I never saw
Really? You
the
never you
I
never
never
played it?
I've played it. I've played it. You know,
Okay.
and people may say, "Oh, well, is it because you're not good at it?" No, it's because I never got into it. It's like Call of Duty. I mean, I never understood I was the Call of Duty I was the one that was in the Call of Duty story mode. I
Oh
never
yeah,
went
yeah.
into the online feature of the game. Yes, I've had a few interactions back in the day with toxic people in the Call of Duty community, which, toxicity and Call of Duty just go hand in hand.
Oh, absolutely.
And that might be why that I was late to the party as far as online gaming and all that stuff. But I just
Yeah.
never got into Fortnite.
Yeah, I get that.
You
I
know.
you know, I like Fortnite. But that was
Yeah.
something that I used to play. Like I've been playing since season 1.
Well, I played like right after my I got this computer, which I got this computer August of last year. I hit up all the games that I couldn't play because it was like now I don't have an excuse to not play certain games anymore. And Fortnite was one of those games. But I put the
It's
rule with Fortnite saying if people make the game unfun, I won't play it anymore.
yeah.
And that's what happened because I had an argument with somebody I was playing with that they got mad at somebody else we were playing with because they walked away and they were like, and I'm like, bro, we just won the last game. And I'm like, I don't care. I want to win this game too. And it's like, no, that's it. We're done. We're not playing this anymore.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anybody that
Yeah.
you start making the game toxic. I'm not playing the game because I am not competitive.
Oh yeah, no, me neither.
You know.
That's not true. I'm extremely competitive, just not with gaming because I'm not very good at it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been told more than once. Somebody was like, Mike, are you good at any competitive games? And I'm like, no, no, I'm not.
But that's the crazy thing. Like, I feel like, kind of taking a pivot here. My bad, but
No,
I
you're
feel
good.
like some people only play video games because they're good at them.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. I enjoy being good at stuff too. But when I'm playing a video game, it's not because I'm good at it, because I'm not good at pretty much every video game that I pick up. I'm not going to be good at it. I'm not naturally gifted at video games.
Right.
But I play it because I genuinely enjoy it.
Right. Exactly. That's why I play. I mean,
Exactly.
side note, if you have any questions or anything you want to bring up, you're more than welcome to. I don't have any, like, this is not a, I have stuff written down, but I don't have any direction or order to it. It's just, if you want anything you
I'm
want
just not trying to throw your thing off the
No,
rails. You know what I mean?
no, anything. You're more than welcome to, Sammy. It's okay.
My ADHD will take twists and turns.
No,
Let me tell you.
no worries, no worries. Anything you want to bring up, it's more of a conversation more than an interview.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. But it's like when I was playing San Andreas, because I jumped for, like, I got the Game Pass a few months ago, and I saw that San Andreas was on the Game Pass. Grand Theft Auto, the old Grand Theft Auto game.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I jumped for joy at it. And you could see it anytime I was playing the game, that by far the one game that I was looking forward to playing anytime I would stream it. And
Oh
people would
yeah.
say, I didn't know how much, I learned so much watching you play San Andreas, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, I was more into playing San Andreas. I didn't care about the numbers. I didn't care about anything else. I was ready to milk San Andreas for like 6 months. But
Oh
of
yeah.
course, Game Pass took it away. But that's.
That's the most frustrating thing about Game Pass. I used to have Game Pass too, and it bothered me so bad that you would get into a game and all of a sudden it'd be gone.
Yeah. Well,
And they do it on purpose, but like, come on.
right. And that's why I basically, played nothing but San Andreas for 4 days on stream, and because I was finishing it, whether it was, whether I had to be late for work one night or, you know,
Oh yeah. Is that your favorite GTA game?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
gotcha. I remember playing that. Well, I didn't get to play it as much as my brothers did, but because they would beat me up if I touched their controller. But when they would sleep or something, I would like sneak downstairs and play on the
Right.
Xbox or whatever. I remember that game. That game was so much fun.
Right. And, that's when it was the segue of, yeah, I've been playing Grand Theft Auto games for 20 years, so I know a thing or two about Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah, that's cool.
San Andreas was 2004.
Really?
Mm-hmm. San Andreas came out in 2004.
Jesus, I'm old.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Sammy.
Scary thought.
I
You think
know.
about that? Like, I really, just the other day, I was just sitting there and I was thinking about the fact that I really genuinely sometimes feel like I'm 17 years old. And I have to remember how old I am because I'm just like, how did I get here?
How I
When
act,
did I get here?
how I act sometimes, I act like I don't act like a 28-year-old.
Exactly. It's like, why? I wish I wasn't an adult. Anyways, sorry.
I have the mind of a child, but that's beside.
That's true, but then if you say something that's childish, people look at you like you're an adult. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's when you tell
Get
them.
your thong out of your ass.
That's when you tell them to fuck off.
Exactly. Like, Jesus.
You know.
Gosh.
Uh,
So how do you feel about stream correlating with your mental health?
I mean, I would probably say that, um, like there were like I think there are still times. I think it's just I notice it less now that than I did because I'm better mentally now than I was last year because last year so I was initially supposed to move last year to North Carolina, but
Okay.
housing market and all that nonsense, everything because of COVID, it
Yeah.
curtailed everything, and I ended up staying. But right after, I spurred into a for the better part of the last year, like from like June until December, I was in like a depressed state, and streaming would put me on a high. and
Yeah.
it would, it's still noticeable. Like when I have a good stream and I come off, it's like I'm in a good mood, in a good mood. But it, it's not as noticeable now because I'm in a better state of mind now. But it still happens from time to time.
Yeah. Absolutely. Was it? Were you upset that you didn't get to move?
I mean, I think it was just like maybe like not following. Like I felt like kind of that I didn't follow through with another thing I said I was going to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Having outside, letting go of the outside circumstances. I didn't look at the positives of I went through it. I went through with it. I was ready to go through with it. I got out of a toxic work environment from my old job. Like the positives. I was just
Yeah.
focused on the fact that I didn't follow through with something again.
Yeah. Absolutely. But honestly, as somebody who did, I mean, I did move during COVID, and it was, I wouldn't say it was a bad decision, but at the time of COVID, it was a horrible decision.
Right.
I'm happy I did it, but it was a horrible decision. Like, I didn't have access to anything.
Right.
So it was probably for the best.
You,
But you didn't move.
yeah, probably. Well, and hindsight being what it is, had I moved, I wouldn't have the job I have now, and an actual and be able to know what a positive work environment is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I just think that, well, no. And I feel like COVID, like if you were to move during COVID, it's just, I know that I felt super lonely because you can't meet anybody.
Right.
It's like super isolating.
Right. And I will say that I think because of me not moving, it, I in turn started, was on Discord more, and uh, um, that's what brought me to becoming friends with Tack and people in Lyle's community. And been, had I been dealing with the move instead of being on Discord, I wouldn't have had I wouldn't have been intertwined with that friend group then. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it opened up a lot of opportunities for you that you necessarily wouldn't have had previously.
Right. That's again looking at it from a different perspective. I mean, but the one thing that those guys didn't know at the time, and they found out later, before, uh, like, before the charity stream was, they didn't know that I was. They didn't know what I was going through at the time
Yeah,
because I didn't tell anybody, pretty much about the fact that I was about my mental health at the time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's a positive and a negative about the internet, if I'm being completely honest, is you can mask those feelings because those people don't know you in real life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can
Hmm.
become whoever you want on the internet, meaning that you can be somebody who doesn't have depression or doesn't have anxiety or doesn't have all these things, and it'll feel great when you're on the computer. But then when you turn the computer off,
That's right.
you're back to your, mentally, not mentally ill in a negative way, but mentally ill self at that point.
And that's what the disadvantage was coming down from the high that streaming provided, and it's like, this is probably not a good thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's almost like it hurts you more than it helps you, but it's also helping. I don't know.
Right.
It's like you need it, but it's hurting you.
Well, I mean, I know you've talked about it on stream, so a few here and there because I've been in your stream when you talked about the correlation. So maybe shine a light from your standpoint on the correlation.
Well, yeah, just addressing part of that sentence. I try really hard to be transparent with things on
Hmm.
stream because I want people to feel like they're not alone. Because I know a lot of us go through this. But yeah, I've had definitely a lot of mental breakdowns due to streaming. Simply because what I just said, you turn off your computer and you're all great when you're on stream, right? Or even in Discord or just hanging out with people
Right.
virtually. But when you turn off your computer, you realize, oh shit, I'm still me.
Right.
And like it's almost like you don't lose yourself necessarily, but it's like this weird realization that like I am not this. uh, ideal person that I've put out to the world. You
Right.
know what I mean? That's not me. That's not my life right now.
Right.
And it's not necessarily lying to people. It's just, sugarcoating things for people.
Right.
And that's really difficult. And on top of that, it's really hard when I feel like when you stream, a lot of people want a lot from you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Meaning that, like, people are always asking for in my chat, asking for X, Y, and Z from me all the time. I feel like I'm constantly trying to please people,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of forget you need to please yourself too,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes it really difficult.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
like
I know for a fact I'm a people pleaser, but that's
for sure. Yeah,
no.
yeah, and it's hard to draw that line in the sand with people
Right.
to be like, this is my hard pass. You're not gonna go past it because if I'm gonna get rid of you. But
Right.
like, yeah, it's really difficult. It's hard. And then, there's there's like the death threat side of things. You know what I mean? There's just like a lot of stuff that goes along with it. I don't know if you've dealt with that, but I have. I have
Well.
um or like I don't know if you've had this happen, but when you are streaming or when you are in a Discord with people and yeah, they might be really close to you, but like I have bad anxiety. So I'll get anxiety attacks or panic attacks randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I'll be streaming or I'll be in Discord and I'll have a panic attack. And I have to just sit there silently because I don't want people to know. And sometimes I can't hide it. That's always embarrassing.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's embarrassing because, but yeah, I have. I had one a few hours before I was in a Discord call with Tech.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I brought it up, and because I remember advice that another friend gave that she said that I'd rather you be honest with us and let us know that something's bothering you than try and fake it to protect the mood of the conversation. Because we're here, basically we're here to help. Don't
Yeah,
think we're
yeah.
not gonna. Don't think we're gonna get mad at you for trying to change the momentum of the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean that's the well. I mean to the point that one of the points you made when you were talking is that's why I chose the mods that I chose when I was setting up. Well, because initially I was just choosing okay, these people, blah 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 blah, and then I changed it out and I got people in who have no problem being the bad guy.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
I'm not looked at the bad guy. They are, because I've said it multiple times during stream that there are people that I have mods that ban people for sport,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's why I have them as mods.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
That's true. I just always feel bad pinning like, asking my mods. Obviously Tack will be the bad guy whenever.
Oh
He
yeah,
has no problem.
Tech loves that.
It's great. It's great. No, but I always feel bad, putting that on my mods because it may not necessarily be their decision. You know what I mean? It's my decision to like ban somebody. Maybe they didn't do anything that crazy, but I know it's going somewhere,
Well, yeah.
and
I mean,
I feel bad, but
well, yeah. I always told them that if it's deemed something that wasn't that bad, I would talk to the person and unban them. But I also feel like then the person could come back and be like, "Oh, this person, shouldn't be mod anymore. They banned me for no reason." And
exactly.
it's like, okay, well then you just stay banned.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
You
And
know.
you know, you got to stay loyal to your mods.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Absolutely,
100%.
110%. Yeah.
Especially the mods like that may or may not be able to find out where I live.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like I'm pretty sure Tack has my exact coordinates.
Tech
I'm
could,
not sure, but I think I'm pretty sure.
yeah, Tech could definitely find me.
Yeah, no, for sure. No.
But
Yeah,
that's
I think it is really important to surround yourself with the correct
oh yeah,
group of people who can protect you.
right,
But yeah, yeah, being the bad guy sucks.
right, and that's why I always said, oh well, people are like, oh, your mods aren't particularly active, and I'm like, I'd rather people I trust as mods than people
Yeah,
that are going to be active. I gladly trade away
yeah,
activity for trust.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
mean,
I feel like
yeah, vice versa. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Because I've been burned many times by people that are just active in my chat a lot, and they constantly show up, and I feel like they aren't a bad person that I'll mod, and then they wind up doing something really weird or just
Hmm.
like uncomfortable, and I'm like, I got to get rid of you. There's no way. I can't.
Well,
I've had that happen so many times.
well, yeah, I know I can't speak to that, but I can speak to the fact that people used to think that just because they were subbed, that they can act however they want.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Jeez. It's like sometimes people. I had this problem a lot actually in the beginning where a lot of people from my hometown would join my like they found me somehow. I
Hmm.
have no idea how they found me, but they found me on Twitch and they started commenting all the time and they would say these like weird things, I guess because they know me in real life and they think it's okay.
Right.
And yeah, subs will do that too. And it's like, I get that you're supporting me and I appreciate you. But you also have to remember that this is my job and this is what I do for a living. And
Right.
I can't have that be risked by what you're saying or what you're doing or having me look bad because you're saying these things and me allowing it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
It,
That's why I didn't at first tell anybody. Like I only told a close knit group of people. I mean, hell, people at work still don't know that I stream. But
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like I don't want people to feel obligated to come and watch. I want people to come and watch because they want to.
yeah. Well, it's also I don't know again if you've had this happen, but and I just talked about it, but I've had people from like my family find me, and I'm like, how did you even find? Like people I haven't talked to in years found me. Like, how did you find me?
Right. I mean, my family found me through me posting about it and stuff like that. But I've also
Ow.
had family members downplay streaming or insult the profession of streaming or
Oh my gosh,
insult the
yeah.
idea of, oh, people actually sit there and watch you play a game.
Oh my
They
god.
how many problems do they have? It's like, and it's like it's pushed me to the aspect of not talking about streaming around those people because it's like, it's like, you're really going to insult it. I mean, I could be doing something a lot less productive.
Yeah, and something way worse.
Right. I mean, I've been doing content creation on and off for the last 8 years. So Twitch was a natural step.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god. Do I have a story about that? When I first started streaming, I didn't have a job at the time because I was going through a really deep depression
Mm-hmm.
and I just needed something. And my brother again mentioned it, and so I started streaming. And my mom was urging me to get a job. I
Mm-hmm.
had been without a job for about a year and a half, so I get why she was pushing me. But to me, Twitch was a job. I invested all of my money into it. I had
Mm-hmm.
like $1,000 in my savings account. I put it all into it. I built my own computer, got a desk, got my whole setup. Again, shitty setup, but I got a setup, and I started streaming, and I
Right.
would do it until like 3, 4, 5 a.m. I mean, hours upon hours. And I remember my mom sitting me down. Actually, no, that's a lie. My boyfriend at the time, he was an asshole, but my boyfriend at the time refused to call it a job. Refused. Would literally refuse. He would when I'd say I'm gonna go stream, he'd be like, "Oh, so you're gonna go play some games with your friends?" Like that's how he justified what I was doing.
Right.
And I was like, so I started every night when I'd start making money, I'd call him or I'd message him and be like, "Guess how much money I made tonight?" Just so he knew that like I'm making money,
Right.
probably, and I'm not trying to be cocky, but probably more money than he was making at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you're an asshole. And he one day threw in my face, he was like, your mom doesn't even think it's a job either. And I was like, what? So I had to sit down, and I'm not poo pooing my mom. My mom doesn't know. She knows nothing about the computer and nothing about Twitch.
Right.
And yeah, so I asked her, and she goes, well, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a job. Well, I didn't until you started making money on it because I was showing her how, like, I'm making like, I think at the time I was getting like a Twitch payout of like $200 at the end of the month or something, which that's great for a new streamer. That's amazing.
Right.
But like, yeah. And yeah, nobody thought it was a job. My dad did. My dad's always been super supportive of it,
Right.
and my brother. But the rest of my family was like, what are you doing?
Right. And I mean, it's understandable that aspect of it, but I would say my mom, same thing. I was out of work from what, Memorial Day last year until the middle of December.
Hmm.
And my mom kept saying, "You got to get a job. You got to get a job. You got to get a job." Behind her back, I was streaming,
Yeah.
and I was getting, I started making money and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like, nah, I'd rather do this. No, I'd rather
Yeah.
do, I'd rather do this. I'm actually enjoying myself. Why bother wasting my time doing something I'm probably not going to enjoy, and have to put on hold something I'm enjoying?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Absolutely.
that's the thing, and it's like, oh well, that's not a real job. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Do something actually productive. I think the part of it is not just not understanding it, but having the old school mentality of you got to be out of the house to get to actually work. That you can't do stuff on that people don't realize how opportunistic
Yeah.
the computer is nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, truly work on the computer is the future. I mean, it's kind of now, but
Right.
I think a lot of jobs are going to be on the computer and a lot of other doors are going to be opened very, very soon. But yeah, I think that, our parents' generation
Right.
deems a job a 9 to 5 where you get up, you put on some nice clothes, and you go sit at a desk all day.
Right.
And that's not how the world works really anymore. I don't know very many people that do that.
Especially if you know my work history, I don't have the best ability to sit there and keep my mouth shut.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I've never had a desk job. Besides, I guess you can consider this a desk job, but
Well, yeah, I
I,
mean,
I've never had a desk job with authoritative figure above me. But
right.
um,
I wouldn't be,
yeah,
I mean, I would have, arguments, daily arguments with people at work, and because I used to work in toxic work environments,
yeah, yeah.
and I think that's
I
also,
think most of them are.
well, that's also why I gravitated towards Twitch, because Twitch from up till a certain point was not really toxic.
Yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
was a positive experience for me. Once it started getting toxic, I started, you know, questioning if it was the people, if it was the platform, if it, what it was, and it's just like, it's the people, it's not the platform.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think one of the most important things with Twitch is going into it with the mentality of knowing that some people suck and some people don't. And
Right,
that's just the reality of it. And unfortunately, some people are going to take the chance because you're not actually standing right in front of them
right,
to say some really mean things to you.
right,
But that's just what it is. Like, I don't know.
right. I completely understand that. Because I've been doing YouTube since 2015. So I was used to sitting in a room by myself, talking to myself with nobody around.
Yeah.
So it was I mean, yes, I had to get used to the aspect of Twitch and the adjustment of Twitch because it was
Yeah.
live as opposed to pre-recorded. But it was in my opinion, it felt like a natural progression because I've been doing YouTube for as long as I've been doing YouTube. That and ironically enough, in the 7 years I've done YouTube, or 7.5 years I've done YouTube, I have had more success on Twitch in a year and a half than I've had on YouTube in 7 years.
Isn't that incredible?
That's that's insane.
It genuinely is. Yeah, no, going back to the whole in a room talking to yourself situation. Was that weird for you at first? Because for me, it was so weird.
um, yeah, it was because it was like how do you? Because I never like people would always say, oh, you gotta like even with Twitch, even with streaming. I don't know what your opinion is on this, but I was told in like videos that I would watch about how to position your stream and be a better streamer and yada yada yada, of coming up with titles ahead of time and like preparation, like the preparation for content.
Yeah.
I would never prepare for YouTube videos or streams. I never prepare. I wing it all the time.
No, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm the same exact way. I don't really prepare unless it's like something I've been planning out for like weeks, if it's like a big event.
Right.
But no, I don't prepare anything. I don't.
No.
Do people prepare? I know people have like schedules on stream where they'll be like 2 hours we're gonna play this game and then 2 hours we're gonna play this game. But do
Well,
people actually?
I mean, the video I watched, the guy said he has titles in mind a week in advance.
What the? No, 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 no. I don't.
You know,
I don't. Well, really think about it though. Like when you go looking for a new stream, are you reading the titles? I
No,
don't read the titles.
no, it's more the game, and you just sit there quiet, watch the streamer for a bit.
Exactly. It's the game and the vibe you get from the thumbnail. It has
Right,
nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with at least in my opinion, with the thing. I mean, especially because most of the time I'm watching Twitch on my phone if I'm watching Twitch.
right, and I think a lot of it is the scripted aspect of the content is a different type of content.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It
You
absolutely
know.
is. I have done that before. It is
Mhm.
fun. Not on my stream, but I've done it on somebody else's stream, and it is a fun way to stream. But
Oh, I do bits all the time. I do bits all the time. Like when I do Rocket League, half the fucking stream is bits. I mean, bits.
that's
Half the fucking stream is bits.
great.
I just, that's the only way I entertain myself playing Rocket League. I have the G Subs playing for the G Subs advertisement right next to me, and I would pop it up on stream and be like, "This portion of the stream has been brought to you by G Subs." I'm only kidding, but G Subs, if you want to give me a call,
Oh gosh, that'd be nice, right?
yeah.
No, actually thinking about it, I kind of do in the sense that things will happen during my day. And
Hmm.
instead of like reaching out to somebody and talking to them about it, I'll wait for stream.
Right.
I will make notes in my notepad of things that I want to remember to talk about on stream because I find it to be interesting topics. But
Hmm.
other than that, no, I don't plan anything.
Well, and I mean, and what the other bit for the Rocket League streams is for some reason Canadian accents.
Oh, that's great.
And then I say, this portion of the stream has been brought to you by Bell Communications, the premier ISP provider in Canada.
That's
Bell
great.
Communications, if you want to give me
Have you ever even been to Canada?
no, no.
That's
I used
perfect.
to have a friend that worked for Bell, and I would make jokes about Bell Communications.
That's great. I love that.
No, that's how I keep myself
Yeah.
entertained with games I don't like.
Oh God, that's a dog toy. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm telling you, there's children in the background. They're
It's
playing with
okay.
stuff.
It's okay. It's okay.
Um, but no, Rocket. I hate Rocket League. I'm sorry.
Nah, I don't. I mean, I
I've
had.
watched you play it before, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I had a friend that played it, and people would ask, "Oh, why don't you join his stream and play with him?" It's like, well, is he competitive? Does he take it seriously? Yeah, that's why. I cannot take the game seriously.
No, and I just don't. I don't know. I don't. It's hard. I think that's why I don't really like it. It's super hard to play.
I mean, I do have respect. I do get respect from people when they find out I play keyboard and mouse on Rocket League, but that's beside the point.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. Like I didn't like that you had to convert. Like you'd have to pull out your controller to play it.
Oh yeah, but now you can do keyboard and mouse if because
I'm,
I
I'm
normally do keyboard and mouse.
I'm trash at every other game. I don't think I'll be good at Rocket League on keyboard and mouse.
What? My initial description for the stream was: if you're looking for great gameplay, you're in the wrong place. But if you want to be entertained, then you're in the right place.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's. I mean, if anybody thinks they're gonna find great gameplay in my stream, they're in the wrong place.
Yeah, that's always frustrating too. I remember when I was playing Dota, people would come in and be like, "You're horrible," and literally in my description it would say like, "I'm new, don't know what I'm doing, like taking suggestions, please coach me." Like that would be in my title, and people just would completely bypass that and be like, "You're horrible." I'm like, "I know."
Well, I mean, I had somebody come in when I was playing Apex, and they were like, "Oh, blah blah blah. You're playing it. I can't stand how you play it. You need to learn how to play it." And I'm like, "I know how to play it. I just don't play it the way you play it."
Yeah, yeah.
Lo and behold, that person has never come back to stream. But that's beside
Probably
the
for
point.
the best.
Yeah, probably for the best. Because
Honestly, the people that are crappy and they don't return after saying like two sentences, it's you don't want them in your community anyways.
well, I mean, I learned how to play Apex from TAC and people that know how to play the game. It's just
Yeah.
that unlike TAC, I don't play just Apex.
He does only play Apex.
Yes.
Literally every time I'm like, "You play game attack," he's like, "Yeah, you got Apex." No, I don't want to play Apex. I don't want to play Apex. God damn it, Tack.
Yeah.
Kid.
Yeah. Uh, um. Well, I mean, speaking of being a new streamer, is there any advice from being in the position you're in now, is there any advice that you would give to a new streamer?
No. No. Yes, no. Well, you know, I don't think the way that I went about it was the best way to go about it. I think the only thing I can say, and this isn't any advice to you because you've already surpassed this point, but like people who are genuinely starting stream, the only advice that I could give is just having thick skin,
Mm-hmm.
knowing who you are before you start the stream, and don't try to put on a persona.
Right.
Try to be yourself because holding up personas is exhausting.
Right.
And if you're trying to get views, I always suggest for people to stick to one game for a while, create a community. They'll start to like your personality if you have a good personality, and they'll stick with you, no matter what you do.
Unless you completely cut out the game, then they'll stop showing up like people did with Among Us.
Then they hate you, yeah, no, for sure. That definitely happened. And unfortunately, the Dota market, I think Dota is like one of the only games on Twitch where their community is, I think, like 95% of people who watch Dota streams only watch Dota streams.
Right.
They don't watch anything else. Like, it's a very small percentage of the people that watch that content that switch over to different categories,
Right.
which is bizarre. I don't know why, but I mean, the game's really addictive, so I kind of get it. But yeah, no. So when you cut games out, people don't like you anymore.
Right. And it's like, okay, I don't, I'd rather, somebody, I think it was a troll in the Jackbox stream. He was like, "Oh, Mike can't handle the big crowd. Mike can't handle the big crowd." And I'm like, "No, I'd rather a smaller crowd of people that I know want to be here, as opposed to somebody who's faking it."
Oh my gosh, yeah. I've had so many people ask me. They're like, "What are you gonna do if you ever get like big?" Which I never want to get big.
Yeah, no.
I don't. And I'll say that. I've been saying that since the beginning. People are always like, it's because you don't think that you'll be able to get big. No. That is not why. I think that anybody, if you put in enough, time, effort, thought into your stream, you can go somewhere with it. But I couldn't imagine not being close to the people in my stream.
Right, and that's what I completely agree with. I'd rather, because there's, somebody just reappeared after disappearing for a bit, and once he said, "Oh, I used to be this name," I'm like, I remember.
Yeah.
I much prefer that than being like, I've met, 60 different people the last week. I don't know who the fuck you are. I'm sorry, but, I know you used to be here, 5 times a week, for every stream, and it's like, I don't remember you. I'd rather remember you than not remember you, even if it means that I'm only getting, 5 or 6 views a week. Or, I think I got, a small bump in views since the charity stream back in May, from like 3 to 5 to 5 to 7 or whatever it is. And I'm like, well, that's good. It's a small bump. I don't, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's something, like, even if my stream did blow up, I would start a new channel. Like, I'd keep that channel, but I'd start a new channel so that way I could have people, like, a smaller community.
Well,
because it's just like
right.
The shallow conversations I can't do.
Right. And it's the idea of what I would say to a new streamer is don't take my experience as your experience. Have your own experience on the platform. Because if you look at what I did and how, I didn't start getting attention until probably at least a month and a half in, give or take. Because I took the right approach. I was in Lyle's stream like a week after I started streaming, but nobody in Lyle's stream knew I streamed.
Yeah.
Because I didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Because I was in Lyle's chat. And I wasn't going to self-promote.
Yeah, oh yeah.
People learned because they saw me streaming on Discord, I'm assuming. Or Twitch, when Twitch had the friends list, and you could see what your friends were doing on Twitch, and stuff like that. And the amount of people when I first started streaming that came in and were like, I didn't know you streamed. Why didn't you say anything? And it's like, because I wasn't going to self-promote.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's the thing. It's like, don't have your own experience. Don't look and say, Nick Merckx did it this way. Okay, do you really want to be Nick Merckx?
Yeah, and plus, in order to be Nick Merckx, you have to be like the top 1% of streamers.
Right.
Like that's so difficult to do.
I mean, it's also the fact that I don't know a lot of top streamers. That's why I keep referencing Nick Merckx.
No, but you know what I mean. Like any
Yeah,
of them,
yeah,
people
no.
that are grossing like 1,000 views.
Right. You know, and I
But,
don't know that I would want 50,000 people watching me because that would just be awkward.
yeah, it would. And like I already feel like sometimes I'm talking to myself, anyways.
I always talk to
Imagine
myself.
how lonely that must be. How lonely. I mean, I feel like the more people that are in my chat, the more alone I feel.
Right.
Because like you can't have these intimate conversations with people if your chat just keeps blowing by.
Oh no, 90% of the time I have a conversation with myself and the chat's having their own conversation. And I have to butt into their own conversation and I'm like, I'll let them be. I'll let them be. That's why I prefer having people in Discord with me.
Yeah.
You know, it's times like that when I prefer having people in Discord with me because I can riff off of them. You know, and it's
You know what I hate though?
Go ahead.
I hate that, and maybe I'm just crazy, but I feel like I'll watch guys' streams and they'll have people in Discord with them and people love it. But if I'm sitting in Discord with like, let's say 1 or 2 other people, my views drop like crazy. Crazy. People hate it. Hate it. For what? I don't know, but they hate it.
So like if you're sitting in a Discord with just like Lloyd and David, then your views will go down?
Yeah.
As opposed to
if I'm just by myself.
I mean
I don't know why. And it's not just me. Like I've witnessed it with other my other girl streamers that I know.
Mm-hmm.
There's this, well, I'm not gonna pinpoint people. There's this one girl that I watch and she does a lot of community games, and whenever she has like her mods or something in Discord with her, people just leave.
Right.
Like I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, I noticed it last night because I was watching another female streamer last night, and I don't remember exactly when her views dropped off, but I think it was right around the time when she welcomed like when she switched to the what you normally do, where you start just chatting and then you switch to the game. Where she started just chatting, switched to the game, the people that were going to play with her joined the thing, and people dipped off. And the views dipped off, and she actually noticed, because it was a pronounced dip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, you know, don't worry about that. You know, the amount that Twitch views fluctuate during a stream, you know, I know a streamer that doesn't even have the views on.
Yeah, I usually turn mine off too, actually.
That he just focuses on that, and it's like, well, the only reason why I have it on is to know, you know, to not be surprised if somebody pops up in chat.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You know,
but
just
like,
to know and be aware, just in case I'm focused in the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. I specifically turn them off when, like if I take like a hiatus.
Right.
Which I tend to do. If I take hiatuses and I come back, just because I don't want to be discouraged, I'll turn off my views, just so that way I'm not focused on, am I going to hit the same number I did before, or am I going to, you know, am I going to dip really far down? I just turn them off.
Right.
Screw it.
I mean, that's completely understandable, and it's like, I mean, I would say, we'll put a pin in what we were talking about and go back to it in a second, because you know, since you brought that up, have you in your streaming career, have you experienced burnout?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, multiple times. Absolutely. Have you?
I would say I've experienced burnout on games, which may have taken my, you know, intensity, like maybe it could have spilled over to burnout in stream, and it may have like made it where I made choosing a game more complicated, which in turn affected stream.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've exactly, you know, experienced burnout necessarily streaming related, but more game related burnout.
Yeah. Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. I never get burnout specifically because of, well, that's not true. I get burnout from a lot of things. I've got burnout from just simply, you know, talking constantly when I stream every day for multiple hours on end, talking all the time and having interesting things to talk about, and things like that. Like that gets exhausting and tiring.
Right.
But majority of the time I get burnout because I'm really, really bad at taking care of myself. Like I'm really bad at it. Like I'm still trying to learn how to take care of my mental health, how to take care of me just in general, what makes me happy, what makes me tick. And a lot of times when I get burnt out, it's because I've just neglected myself for so long.
Right.
And I don't know how to help myself. So instead I try to like mask it with streaming. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, shit, I'm fucked.
That was me last year.
Yeah.
That was me last year. You know.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Right.
Especially because like, I genuinely enjoy streaming.
Right. I agree with you.
It is a blessing in my life, for sure.
Right. I agree with you. I mean, well, again, since you mentioned it, how has streaming changed your life?
Oh, so much. An unbelievable amount. I went into it not thinking anything of it. I thought it was going to be like something I did for about a month and then gave it up and did something else. And I never thought that I would make such connections and meet such amazing people who have helped me through just the journey of life. Like it's changed my life in many ways. My relationships, it's changed completely. How I view myself, it's changed that. My confidence levels, things like that. But I think one of the major changes is just the freedom it's given me in life. Like it's allowed me to, in the middle of nowhere, I just sat up one day and said, I'm going to move to Florida. And I moved to Florida. And then I was in Florida and decided I didn't want to be there anymore. So I moved again. Like it has allowed me to do a lot of things that I wouldn't have been allowed to otherwise.
Right.
It's incredible. It's also just given me sometimes healthy, most of the time healthy, sometimes toxic, but a healthy outlet to talk about my problems that I wouldn't have. So, yeah, no. How about you? I could keep going on and on, so. How about you?
I would say that it's the same thing. It's giving me a healthy output for, just to escape, and just even if it's, an hour or 2 hours or whatever the case is, it just gave me, a place to socialize, to have insane experiences that I never thought I'd have, and just, meet people and both good and bad, but, and it's, just given me it's given me opportunity.
Yeah.
And there's no price you can put on opportunity. I've had Wrestling Express for 7 going on 8 years now, and Twitch is the reason why I made money with it.
What is the origin of your name?
Well, I've been a wrestling fan for 24 years at this point, and...
Wait, are we talking like WWE?
Yes.
Okay, who's your favorite?
I've always been a fan of Seth Rollins.
Okay. No idea who that is.
And back in the 80s, a very common name for duos, tag teams, were having the Express surname.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I got, Wrestling Express.
Okay.
And the added thing for logos was that the Express train, the trains that don't stop at every stop.
Okay.
So that's the also correlation. There's more of a correlation to the surnames for wrestling duos than there is trains. It's not that I have a love affair with trains.
Hey, you listen. I'm not here to kink shame. Okay. Whatever you're into is what you're into. Were you on Twitch prior to streaming?
I did one stream in June 2015. I had no idea what I was doing. I went into it not looking into streaming, not having any idea how to stream, not knowing anything, and I embarrassed the fuck out of myself.
Oh yeah.
And I never went back until September 2020.
That's funny.
I even forgot that I had a Twitch. No. I went back September 2020, and I fell in love with Twitch.
Do you ever go back and watch your older streams or not?
Yes, because of the fact that I take the clips out of my stream and put them on TikTok and YouTube and
Oh
stuff like that.
yeah.
So yes, and I made recap videos for. I put all my clips together for YouTube and did highlight videos for 2021. So I would go back and watch it. I did videos for the first anniversary. I did a video for the 7 year anniversary for Wrestling Express, and I probably did a 6 year one for the 6 year, like a celebration video saying thank you. Um, I mean, is it weird going back watching my old clips? Yeah, because it's like, seeing how I looked at the time, seeing, just like what, like even deeming, I don't want to say what I deemed as content, but like, just looking back at where I was at that point and where I am now,
Yeah.
you know.
Absolutely. See, I don't. I don't take clips of myself. What I do is, I'm weird, and this is kind of embarrassing, but I'll tell you. So what I do is, if I feel like one of my streams were, let's say, it was better or worse than what I normally feel like they are, I'll go back and rewatch it and try to pinpoint what made it better or what made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Is that embarrassing? I feel like that's kind of embarrassing.
No, it's to try and duplicate the process, or trying to duplicate the process of what you found as a good stream.
Yeah, and I hate watching myself so much. Like, absolutely hate it. Hate it. It gives me that, like, skin crawly feeling. Oh my god, I hate it. But I do it.
I hate watching my old YouTube videos.
Oh gosh.
Because the quality of them.
Oh god, yeah, the quality.
I used to record. My original YouTube videos 7 years ago. I would have video camera.
Yeah.
I would set up a video camera on a stack of DVDs, aim it at the screen, and record. And I would use the video camera mic to record my audio.
Dang.
Yeah.
I was when I was younger, I actually used to post YouTube videos on YouTube, and nobody's ever found them, thank God. I think I took them down. But I used to post singing videos on YouTube, and I got bullied for them really bad in middle school. Like, so bad. So I think I'm just scarred off YouTube.
Well, I mean, some people are just jealous of people that actually have talent.
I don't know if that's what it was. I was a very mean child, and I think people just didn't like me for a lot of reasons.
Oh, I can be an asshole, but that's beside the point.
I mean, can't we all?
But I'm entertaining.
Yeah, that's all that matters. I'm also funny, so
Yeah.
I can be mean if I want to be.
I tell people at work, I'm not paid to be here for my job. I'm paid to be here as the entertainment.
Exactly, and if you're gonna cry, then you should probably leave.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, no,
what I put a pin in earlier was asking the question if being a female streamer, would you offer any advice to it? Was the like
a specific
like any would like any specific advice to a female streamer that would want to join Twitch?
Oh gosh. Let's see. Well, number one, guys are disgusting. Sorry, I'm not pointing at you, but
I agree with you.
Men are gross.
Mm-hmm.
And they will say the most repulsive things to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if I were to genuinely give a girl a piece of advice, I would say, again, I think it just comes down to just being true to who you are. Be who you are. Make sure that you have your armor on.
Right.
Because people are going to take shots at you left and right. Just simply at the fact that you are a female and you are on Twitch, you are looked down upon. And
right.
I'm not one of those people that necessarily thinks that, girls are looked down upon all the time. Definitely on Twitch. They are absolutely looked down upon.
I agree with you.
Guys will come in and treat you like shit just because you're a female.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have this new hatred for dudes. But Yeah, no, I think that's just the best advice that I can give to literally anyone, not just girls, but just be who you are. Be true to who you are.
Right.
Don't show too much skin just because you see all these successful girls doing that. Don't
Right.
do that. Be you. Don't don't pretend to be something you're not because like I said, putting up some sort of facade is exhausting to withhold.
Well, I completely agree with you, and there's
And
a. Go
and
ahead.
wait, be
Go
careful
ahead.
who you surround yourself with because some of these girls out here are cutthroat and they are not nice.
I would say that there's people who know my streams know that there's certain types of streamers to not bring up in my stream because I provide hot takes on those types of streamers
Yep.
every time
Yep.
because I don't have respect for those
Yeah.
streamers who
Yeah.
are, as far as I'm concerned, an insult to the platform and make it difficult for people who actually want to make it on the platform.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And give the false notion that as I say, those people ain't fit. Ain't that the best way I was going to say it. Lyles mentioned one of them in one of his streams recently, and
Okay.
I was going to make a joke saying that just mentioning that person's stream is joke enough. You don't have to go further with that.
Damn. Oh gosh.
But
No, those the people that stream and like are the way that I'm not gonna point out certain characteristics, but we know what we're talking about here.
yes,
Um, it's what makes it hard for all the other girls that are on the platform
I
because
completely agree.
guys can go into those people's streams and say whatever they want to those females because they just allow most of it. Like, there's one major streamer, and I'm not talking crap about them because they make way more money than me, but I see their chat and I kind of feel bad for them if I'm being completely honest because people just go in there and they abuse them with their words, and it's like, but they allow it. Like, no mod is removing these; it's just
Right,
sitting there. They're saying like, nice boob, show me your titties, show me, things like that, and it's just like, holy shit! Like, you're allowing yourself to be like an object
right.
to these people,
And
and
it's
maybe you're not
right.
allowing it necessarily, but it's happening. And then those guys go from those streams into your stream or my stream, and they sit there and they think they can still talk to you like that.
And it's like people say, "Oh, they're making boatloads of money. That's a good reason." No, that's not a good reason. It's an insult to the profession, and Twitch, and it's an insult that Twitch has it on the platform because it doesn't belong on the website.
Yeah, it really doesn't. I was talking to somebody, and they've been on Twitch or watching Twitch for a really, really long time, since the beginning of Twitch, really. And they used to tell me how back in the day, girls would stream, but it was against Twitch rules to just do just chatting. So they would have to have somebody else playing a video game. They make it really small in the corner, and they would just be chatting, and somebody else would be playing a video game for them, so that way they wouldn't be kicked off, the platform. And I feel like people forget that the basis of Twitch is video gaming, and believe me, I'm so grateful that there's so many different options
Right,
out there for what you can watch on Twitch. I think it
right. I
broadens the
agree.
horizons for whoever wants to be on Twitch. You can do whatever you want on Twitch, but I feel like one thing that shouldn't be allowed on Twitch is softcore porn.
I agree. I agree completely. And I know I'm not. I may not be the only guy that feels this way, but I'm one of the only guys I feel like that isn't afraid to vocalize it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and if I could offer any advice to a female streamer, that is, don't be afraid to stand up and say, "Fuck off."
Yeah, no, oh God, yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
It's not. You have the right to have whoever you want or whoever you don't want in your stream. If you're okay with people talking to you how they want to talk to you, fine. But you have
Yep.
the right to draw a line in the sand and say "fuck off."
Yep. Don't worry about if people like you or not.
Yeah, because the people that actually want to be there will be the people that, are stay when you put the line in the sand and put your foot down.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, no.
and it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I have more than once. I went off the last time somebody mentioned those people. I will not even dignify them with the ability of calling them streamers, that I went off on a 5-minute tangent about how I truly feel about those.
I mean, I agree with it's frustrating. It genuinely is frustrating because you'll see people out there that are really talented and genuinely deserve views and
Mhm.
deserve to be watched. And like, I know so many people that draw on Twitch and they're so talented
Right,
and nobody watches them.
right. And I would
And
say, go ahead.
and then you look at these girls that have their nipples almost hanging out and they have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of viewers. And
Right,
it's like they're not providing you with anything besides sex. That's all it is.
right. I agree. And it's like, I understand that,
And there are other websites for that. Sorry.
well, yeah, and it's, so you're paying your rent money, your paycheck, and this to a streamer or, a person when other things are free.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the thing that I noticed, I don't often raid random people because I
Hmm.
don't like, because people don't, and we can get into this in a second, but that people don't understand that 90% of the time when you raid somebody, it's viral marketing. It's the point of
Yeah.
reciprocation where you reciprocate it, and people are like, "Oh, you're just being nice. You're rating." No, I want you to rate me back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
it's
feel that.
that I noticed when I was doing that typically females, specifically females that have cameras, have higher view counts.
Yeah.
Even higher view counts than females that don't have cameras.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well, if I'm being completely honest, I think there's a reason to that. I don't think it's just females, although I think it probably is a bigger jump. But um, I think the reason is because they don't feel like there's like this personal factor there that like you can't really connect with somebody unless you can look them in the eyes or you can see their expressions on their face. A lot of people enjoy that.
right,
Um, I know a bunch of guys. Well, back in the day, I had a big group of friends on Twitch, and a lot of them were trying to get into streaming, and they were asking me, like, what should I do? What should I do? I'm trying to get higher views, and I was like, well, you don't have a cam, and you should
mm-hmm,
probably get a camera because even though you're worried about the fact that you're a boy and girls get more views and all this stuff, because that's always been a conversation that I've had with people. And I agree. I think it's wrong too that girls do get more views simply because they're females, but it's a male platform. You know what
right,
I mean? Like guys are gross. Why
yeah,
would they watch a dude play a video game if they could watch a hot girl play a video game? You know what I mean?
right. But in and people may call bullshit on this, but I typically gravitate more towards female streamers because of their gameplay, how they game. That,
Yeah.
guys are more typical. No, and I'm not saying girls don't get competitive and angry when they play games,
Yeah.
but guys typically are more likely to get more angry than girls. And it's like, if I'm gaming with somebody, I'd rather game with somebody who's level-headed, calm, and is just going to have fun, as opposed to somebody that's going to start yelling, bitching, and moaning about the game not going their way.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So that's why I gravitate more towards female streamers, because they're more level-headed, less competitive, and more likely to just stay, you know, enjoy the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with that. Women are more predictable in certain aspects of their life, and I think that's one of them. When the girl's playing a video game, you can kind of predict that they aren't going to freak out if they die,
Right,
or if that something goes wrong, or you're going to lose because at the end of the day, women are more compassionate than men,
right,
and they understand that like some things happen, whereas guys get their panties in a bunch.
right. And it's like, you're not going to win every time,
Yeah.
and the point I was making earlier is that it's that I just feel like the idea of that it shouldn't matter. The gameplay should take precedent over who's behind the camera,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the content should take precedent over who's behind the camera.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
that's not the case.
No, it's not at all. I mean, I think in an ideal world that'd be great.
Right, I agree with you. And I know because of my friendship with Tech that you've had arguments with him for banning people a little too fast
Yeah.
because of how you operate with those certain people that may
Oh yeah.
think they can say what they want.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I know some people don't want to put up with trolls or people that are annoying, and I completely get it because there are definitely days where I'm just like, I can't handle this, and I'll message my mods and just basically be like, listen, anybody who's being an asshole, just get them out. But like, no, most of the time I like to mess with them back because I think it's funny.
Right, right. And I know Tack and Lloyd specifically would are usually in a rush to, in a
Ban them.
race. They race each other to see who can ban first.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, literally all my mods would do that. If I had all my mods in the chat at once, it would be like a fist fight to see who could ban who or who could ban this person first. It's like I don't know why they do that, but they do.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get it, but oh yeah, no, I do. I have not yelled at Tech, but I have said something to Tech where I'm like, man, why'd you get rid of him?
Tex told me.
Because like it gives me an outlet to be an asshole and not feel bad about it.
Tex told me. Tex told me.
He's ratting me out of it. Man.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing, and he's like, oh, because I had a troll back with Jackbox, and both him and another mod were like, you can't let the trolls get to you, and I'm like, you think the troll wasn't getting to me? I was having fun being toxic.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you just enjoy getting that negative energy out of you, you know?
It's like I was having fun I was saying pretty mean things to the guy, but I didn't care.
Oh gosh, that is a learned behavior though from Twitch. Though I'm not gonna lie, like the trolling back thing. In the beginning, I didn't used to do that. I used to just be like, okay, and like ban them. But then I just learned, just troll them back.
For me, it's a family behavior, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
My cousin's girlfriend years ago, it was one of her first time. She was still new she was still new in the picture, and she was like, we were out, and she was like, "You guys make fun of each other a lot," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's part of the family. It's what we do. It's what we do.
For sure.
Now I do it with people at work."
Yeah. No wonder you're not good at being told what to do.
Yeah, at least now when I make fun of my manager, he makes fun of me back.
Perfect. There you go. That's what you need.
Yeah, a positive work environment.
That's so positive. I love when my boss tells me I'm a shit person.
my boss told me I look better with a box on my head.
He also told me I was a piece of shit. I don't know.
Yeah, he actually, yeah. That'll probably happen tonight, but that's beside the point.
Perfect. That's perfect.
I could just
really
walk up
good
to
for
him.
morale.
I could just walk up to him and say, "Yeah, call me a piece of shit." Why?
Call me a piece of shit for the rest of the day.
Why? Well, I was talking to somebody, and they said, it's always good when my boss calls me a piece of shit, so I want you to call me a piece of shit.
Oh gosh. Jesus.
Well, yeah, that's like if people heard how the banter that we have at work, people would be like, "Is this not a hostile work environment?" And it's like, no, they mean well.
Yeah, nobody actually means it.
Right. That's you hear how I talk to one of my mods on stream. I bully him all the time.
Oh yeah, constantly. I bully my mods. That's all I bully.
Yeah. And that I've said it before. I think I've phrased it in the wrong way, but I said I like the people I can bully, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, at my core, I am a bully.
Well, yeah. At my core, I'm an asshole, but that's beside the I like the people who bully me back.
Hey, you are what you eat.
And that's why I like you, Sammy.
Oh gosh.
It's I mean that's what this has been. It's just been a back and forth banter for the last. That's all this is. It's that, the main reason why I did this is because that, the big streamers don't always get the opportunity when they're doing interviews. When when Ninja sits down on Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel or whoever the fuck he made friends with, you don't hear him talk about, his ascension. You hear him talk about the advertisers and, what's it like having so many people and, what games he playing and, he doesn't talk about, the small streamer, the impact it's had on its mental health and the, because mental health is not something you want to hear about on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the bigger streamers, because I've heard, somebody like Jacksepticeye, he he takes pride in talking about his mental health.
Yeah.
And Captain Sparkles,
Yeah.
two recent people. Jacksepticeye, I have, one of the many people I have utmost respect for putting his mental health first. And Sparkles, I've just heard him talk about it recently, so that's, two people that came to mind. But it's that even established streamers don't. I mean, I might be wrong about this, and it may have changed, but I don't see them putting the spotlight on it and the impact that, like, it's passe for a big streamer to say thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what part of this was. That's so, like, even no offense, but you're what, 4,000 followers, or
What am I at?
I
I
don't
I'm at I think
prob-
I'm at 8.7.
I probably should have looked. I probably should have looked.
I don't even know. I think I'm at 8.7 maybe.
Um, well,
I don't know.
well, I mean, even then, it's like, it's like, it's like some a bigger streamer. You're comparing the two of us. You're a bigger streamer. That it may even be sort of passe for you to say thank you. Like,
Yeah.
oh well, like this, you're if you say thank you, you're being looked at as ingenuine. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That is very, yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
if somebody like Nick Merckx or XQC or Valkyrie or Pokey or you know uh, Saikuno or somebody like that says thank you, then it's like, oh yeah, I just you just made $500 from this stream or $1,000 from this, but thank you. It's like, it's like, people would look at like ingenuine, like, when do you cross over that line of you're not, that you like people think you stop meaning it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's what actually I don't watch a lot of bigger streamers simply because I do feel like it's not when they say thank you, they don't actually mean it. Or a lot of times they won't even say thank you.
Right.
Like it'll be donation after donation after donation on their screen. They just don't say anything. And I get it because if you had to do that every time you got a donation, you're a big streamer and it's constantly happening, you wouldn't be able to stream anything. You'd just constantly be saying thank you.
Right. Right.
But like, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. When you say something so many times, it stops losing its meaning, right?
Right. Exactly. And it's just like, and it. I mean, I don't dispute the idea that they genuinely mean it, but it's just like that. That maybe they're so focused on the job aspect of it that they don't allow themselves to be vulnerable to the idea of taking a stream and just being open with the audience and just answering questions and just
Yeah.
like giving their health the platform, because they don't see that as viable content and stuff people actually want to see, that people come to them for gameplay and not conversation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I just give another shout out to a streamer that does prioritize their mental health, and they have usually over about 3,000 views every single time they stream. Milton T. Pike, he is one of my favorite streamers to watch in the whole wide world. He is very transparent about his mental health, talks about it all the time. Tries to help a lot of people in his chat with mental health. Just amazing. I don't know him personally, but he seems like a very amazing person. And not enough streamers talk about it.
Right.
They really don't. And they have such a big platform too.
Right. And that's why, I mean, I can give a shout out to the charity I worked with back in May, #Hope, Canadian-based charity, specializing in suicide awareness and mental health. Well, suicide prevention and mental health awareness. And they're working with Twitch to set up a Twitch bot to help better handle, people that are coming in with issues, and just training streamers to better handle that and to know where to send the person or how to handle it themselves, or whatever, just that certain aspect of mental health, and
Yeah.
they're in the process of working on a chatbot to go along with, I don't, as it is in development, but they're working on that aspect of their platform, which, I'm surprised Twitch has not done that, but mental health is not always something that people enjoy talking about.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's absolutely incredible. And it's something that's well overdue and it should be already implemented.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I don't think people realize what a big outlet Twitch is for people with mental health
Right.
issues, not mental health. Everybody has mental health, mental
Right.
health issues. I can't even tell you the countless times about people in my chat telling me how they've had a bad day or they're getting depressed or even just, oh my God, nothing warms my heart more than when somebody tells me that, I've improved their mental health and made them feel better about themselves and stuff like that. That is just the biggest compliment ever. But people come to Twitch to find relief from that stuff. So,
Right.
yeah, I think having something implemented that could trigger when something like that's happening to help that situation would be great.
Right.
Because
And
I don't know anything. I don't know how to help other people besides my own
right.
experiences.
Right.
So,
Right. And that's the thing, as we talked about earlier, that people just write off gaming as just this idea of a waste of time, and they
yeah.
don't take into account the positive impact that gaming has had on, how much it's changed, saved, and improved people's lives.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely.
And yes, I did have that written down.
Absolutely. Yeah, it sounded like it. No, I'm kidding. No, that was, yeah, no, gaming really does. I mean, I know personally for me, when I'm anxious or something, I want to play The Sims and I'll just sit there and play The Sims for hours. And then once I get off, I forget why I was anxious.
Right.
And it's such a relief for me. And I
Right.
know a lot of people do that. And it is sad that gaming is looked down upon by a
Right.
lot of people because it's seen as, if you play video games, you're lazy or whatever they try to say that you are.
Right.
And
And
it's like
that's
they don't realize that it actually is beneficial and helps.
right. And that's why the media is like fascinated when they find out like how much money Ninja's made and how much money this person has made and how much money this person's made. And
Right?
and it's like they don't dig into it and know. I wonder if Ninja's actually done a sit down interview with anybody talking about, like, other than another streamer,
Yeah.
other than somebody who's gone through the same thing that he's gone through. And I know Courage JD and the that old some e-sports teams have their own podcasts and stuff like that, and they're other streamers. They interview other streamers. That's different. That's people knowing the platform and trying to shine light on the platform. But even then, I've seen a few podcasts and they don't divulge into that aspect of mental health. I think because of vulnerability, and not
Yeah.
wanting to open that uncomfortable door of vulnerability.
Yeah. Oh, no, I absolutely think that's the exact reason why they don't is because they feel like, I mean, imagine, I mean, I know you've ran into trolls and stuff and people that judge you. I have people judging me all the time. Imagine that on like such a larger scale that you can't even fathom it.
Right.
And then feeling like you can be vulnerable. Like,
Right.
no way.
Right.
No way.
Right. And that's why, for Suicide Awareness Month, I did, just Suicide Awareness Week. I did stuff related to that. That's why I worked with hashtag Hope back in May to, try and normalize, it's not going to, not going to change things, but it's going to help, even if it, gave one person the ability to stand up and say, you're right, that it helped.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Even if it just made somebody go, you know what, I need help.
Right. And it's like, well, how you got, it's like, you help one person, that's what matters.
Yeah, and it truly is a domino effect.
Right. And it's like, I know from experience, it's that I think it was like 2 years ago, my aunt told me, the only way that you need to stop steering away from the issues and steer towards it to find why the issues keep happening. And that's what I
Yeah.
started doing.
Yeah.
And I think part of it was just having the fear of seeing how messed up I was. You know what I mean? And I know that's, the same negative connotation that everybody has with mental health, that, it's that just the idea of you're not normal, you're not normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't, like, doing the charity stream and talking and actually talking about it, that, I mean, since this is basic, since it's basically what we're talking about, I, I have experienced suicidal ideations. I
Oh
myself
yeah.
have never, taken that next step. I've had ideations, but I never, up until this year, I didn't even know that's what that meant. Like, I never heard the word ideation. And then I started, liking the word, outside of the context of suicide, I started liking the word of ideation because big words make you sound smart.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I've experienced suicidal ideations. And once I started expressing that to people, it started, like, the weight started lifting off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And realizing that, I could go to, it's not a burden to go to people to talk to them, or, you can, that you're not the only one that, has this burden of mental health issues.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think when you do talk about things, you realize, because a lot of these things can make you feel alienated and like you're alone and stuff, and
Right.
not normal. Because I also have had that same issue. Again, never have taken the next step, but I think it's a natural human response.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to think about, I remember I had one therapist tell me that it's completely natural to think about, when you're in a car and you're driving, that you could just rear off to the side and, die.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just a way of realizing that life is so fragile.
Right.
And as humans, we know that we hold our own lives in our hands,
Right.
so it's natural to think about taking away that.
Right. Or
Um,
the idea of, not to interrupt, but, or the idea
no, please.
of, like, if something did happen, who would be there
Yep.
at the
Yeah.
hospital
Who would
waiting for
care?
results?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, who would show up? Who would care? Who would be at my funeral? Who would cry? Who wouldn't cry? Who
Who would
wouldn't
beat me
care?
up? Who would beat me up after the fact for doing it?
Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. And it's something that oh God, I remember in like high school and middle school, like really fantasizing about that. Especially like
Mm-hmm.
going through a heartbreak or something and thinking like,
Mm-hmm.
if I were to do something stupid, like would they be there for me? You know what I mean? Like, unhealthy way of thinking,
Oh
really.
yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, then there's the long nights at work where, long nights at work bring up suicidal ideations, and I'm like, oh, well, I get suicidal ideations anytime only when I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That might mean something, though. I'm not gonna lie. You might need to switch jobs.
The ideations are gone. Now I just use them for humor.
Yeah, no.
Now it's the idea of, if you can't make jokes about it, then you take it too seriously.
Yeah, but like that whole thing, for years I was afraid to bring that up because I thought people would be
Oh yeah.
think I was crazy.
Oh yeah. I didn't bring it up. I don't remember naturally. I don't remember actually if I brought it up. I think I did, because that's when I I think it was Mother's Day this year. I had a heart to heart with my like an open heart to heart with my cousin, and it was just like a back and forth because he brought up something and it just like spurred everything up, and
Yeah,
he was the first person I was open with it about.
yeah,
And like, I remember his girlfriend saying, or his fiance saying, it seems like you're ashamed of it. It seems like you're ashamed that you have these issues. You know what I mean?
I know for sure. Absolutely, it is. It is shameful, really, because you should value and cherish your life, right?
Right. And it's like, I think that's what allowed me to, because then I was in a Discord call with, Tack in that friend group, and it's like, I was open with it, and somebody said, "Well, I'm glad you didn't follow through on it."
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like, I don't know. People, a lot of people have these thoughts, right? But
Right.
it's a shameful. It does make you feel shame because it's just like, why do I feel this way? But then I go on Instagram or whatever, and all these people look so happy and they're living their best lives, and why can't I do that?
Yeah.
Like there must be something wrong with me.
Yeah. And do I have to pay more attention to the tabloids? Is that what makes people happy? Do I have to know what Kim Kardashian's doing today?
Do I have to look hotter in my photos? Do I have to go, like, I don't know, pretend to eat a sundae somewhere and whatever? Like, I don't know. What makes you happy? What makes. It's hard to find out what makes you happy.
Do I have to go find a food truck driver and piss him off and then take a picture of him chasing me down the street?
Or pee on your ex's doorstep. Which one?
You sound like you're speaking from experience, Sammy.
No. Please don't put that in. No. No, I'm kidding. No, definitely never done that.
That's when somebody comments, "I knew it was you."
My doorstep has smelled like rancid urine for a year now.
Damn it! No wonder why you left town.
I thought it was the dang coons. Oh gosh, yeah, no, definitely never did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
No, but it's super confusing. Like looking on, I think social media is so toxic. I hate social media so much for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons is because I'm very prone to jealousy. Unfortunately, I just am. I don't know if it's my zodiac sign. I don't know what it is. But I can get jealous about things. Not like a ugly jealousy, just like a envious, I guess. And I'll like look at all these stories of people, especially people from back home, and they all look like they're having fun. And it's like, why am I'm 26 years old. I don't go out. I don't really do anything. And like all these people are like exploring life and doing all these crazy things and look like they're so happy, but in reality, in the background, they aren't happy. You would never know that.
Right, and just for the people that can't see me, because I'm not on camera. I did just raise my hand when Sammy was talking, because the description she put out for herself is my exact description. Outside of occasional trips out with family, or there are times where I would go a week, and the only time I would go outside is when I went to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And working overnights, that's kind of like, when do you see the sun?
Yeah. Really though, I think I've gotten sick multiple times from vitamin D deficiencies.
Yeah.
Just because I mean, it's summer now, so I go outside pretty frequently.
Right.
But no, I don't do anything. I don't go places. And when I think about going places, I'm like, nah, I'd rather just stay home. Like, I don't.
I think it's, the activity of others that if, somebody else says you want to do something, I'll be like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like, I'm not I think because of the fact that I've been on social media platforms, and social media platforms have played such a huge part in my everyday life over the last 7 years, which is insane. Well, actually, over the last 11 years, because I've been writing about pro wrestling online for the last 11 years, which is insane. But because that would be since I was a junior in high school, I think, or a senior in high school.
Yeah.
But I'm not jealous of people online. I'm more jealous in real life. I'm more prone to be jealous in real life.
Yeah.
And it's like, because, oh, well, I don't, I've been called out like, oh, you don't take anything seriously, you don't want to do anything, you're 28 years old, you do things while you can, you act like a 40-year-old, and I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I act like I'm 40. I'm the one that goes to a club and complains that the music's too loud.
Oh my god. I love that. Oh god.
Well, how are you supposed to have a conversation? I'm not supposed to have to shout. I should.
You're in the back like, can we turn it down?
You know,
Please?
they would have the smoke come up, and the smoke come up, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like this. I can't see.
Oh gosh, I can't breathe in here.
I liked it better outside. I liked it better
You-
outside. It was quiet. It was no. You guys go inside. I'll stay out here. It's quiet out here.
Yeah, you just post outside, wait for your friends to be done. That's great.
Well, I mean, at the time I was the DD, so that's the whole thing. I was the now I drink like an alcoholic, but that's beside the point.
Hey, listen, whatever keeps you going.
Alcohol keeps me going.
No, I used to drink, well, not a lot, but with streaming and stuff, I would drink a lot on stream. I stopped drinking, like, completely. I don't know, but I did.
I have make a drink as my channel reward. People are like, okay,
That's great.
okay, can you not make? Can you like get a water or no? No, it's got to be alcohol. No, it's got to be an alcoholic beverage. Nope.
Yeah, no.
Gotta be a
It's gotta
beverage.
be something hard, like.
Yeah, gotta be a beverage. Gotta be a beverage.
I love that. No, and it's not that I don't like drinking. I enjoy drinking. I randomly just stopped, and now I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean it's probably the healthier choice, but
Is it though? Like, come on.
the alcoholic in me says no, but the
At the end of the day, we're all headed towards the same destination. It's just who's gonna get there faster. You know what I mean?
yeah, you gotta have some fun. You gotta have some fun. That's why little
Exactly.
crossfade. Getting crossfaded is
It's a part of life.
yeah.
It's the experience.
Well, getting crossfaded is something I really can't do anymore because that's usually ends up bad results. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, I will never understand how people do that. No clue. Not a clue. I'm an anxiety prone person anyways. Even just being like overly inebriated from alcohol, I get anxious. I don't know how people do two things at once. And then they're
Well-
like, yeah, this is fun. I am the worst.
Well, since it's legal, I can mention it. Well, it's legal here. Marijuana is my secondary place because it helps me relax.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do.
And I used to get crossfade. I used to do the crossfaded, but I also used to space it out. Not spacing it out would lead to bad results the next day.
Yeah.
Well, even spacing it out would lead to bad results the next day because usually I'm drinking shots, and 90% of the time my parents are like, "How do you do? Why are you gonna do this again? Why are you gonna do this again? You wake up, you got a headache, you're not doing shit the next day. Why are you doing this again?" You wake up on the floor of your bedroom or your living room, and
It's not the phase, Mom.
yeah, I've been in the same phase for the last 6 years.
Oh gosh.
We're marathon drinkers. What can I say?
Yeah, jeez. I'm training for something.
I'm training for the the alcoholic marathon.
Oh god. You're throwing off my rhythm.
Jeez. Mom, I finished 3 drinks in an hour. Get the camera.
Grab the camcorder.
I just-
Oh gosh.
I just did a shot and took a drink at the same time.
Mom, document this.
I need to post it on TikTok.
Stop watching Dr. Phil. This is important. Oh gosh. That was a little ode to my mom. She loves Dr. Phil. That's great. Yeah, no, I don't know how people do that. No idea. Actually, I think I've only really binge drinked, kind of, in a sense. Like, I drank every night for about a week once.
I've done
But I've
that.
only done that once.
I wasn't a binge drink. My brother said you got to go the week, so you got to at least have a drink.
Yeah.
I blame that on stream because every night people, and Tack is guilty of this a lot, telling me wasting his channel points to get me to drink.
Oh, what is Tack doing?
He's wasting his channel points to get me to drink.
That's it, I'm banning him.
That's okay, I'll take him.
I could never give him up. Uh,
Oh, why do you think I made him? What do you think I made him mud? It's seeing
my
how he is
favorite
with you
part,
and Miles.
my favorite part about Tack is that I forget how I made a mod. I think I was in need of a mod during a streamathon,
Hmm.
and he was there, and I just modded him, and I will never turn back.
Right.
He is a great mod,
Oh yeah, fantastic,
absolutely incredible.
fantastic.
Didn't even know that beforehand, and
I
then he started like trying to get me in with sponsors. Like he was great.
I knew Tech's reputation, and that's why I made him mud because I didn't really know him. I met
Yeah,
him.
I didn't.
I
I
met
knew
him
nothing.
through. I think I met him through Lyles. That would make sense because I probably met you through him.
Yeah, I think so. No, you definitely met me through him.
Oh yeah, I mean of course,
Absolutely did. I think he told you to raid me one time.
probably. I used
Or
to
no,
count.
it
I
might have
used
been
to.
the opposite. I think he told me to raid you, and I was like, "Who is that?" He goes, "He's my friend,"
I
and I was
used.
like, "Okay, that's fine."
Oh, I didn't know we were friends. Yeah, I'm friends with Tech.
Look at that, how sweet! Oh my gosh, friendship, beautiful.
um,
Um, but yeah, no.
well, yeah. I mean, there were times when I would always depend on Tech's follower list.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's whenever I'm like, I need a suggestion, he's on top of it.
Yeah, you
On
know.
top of it.
But
Um, but yeah, no, he's great. I had no idea, not a clue. And then after the fact, I like mentioned it to him. And I was like, "You're a really good mod." He goes, "Thanks. I mod for a bunch of people." I'm like, "What?"
he actually told me the number. I think it's between 20 and 30 people.
He mods for a lot. I think I
No,
mod for one person, and it was like a big feat in my life when I modded for one person.
I'm modded for somebody that doesn't even stream anymore.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I am too.
And it's like, I'm a VIP pretty much everywhere, but and I remember somebody coming into somebody's stream and they're like, "Mike's a VIP here too," and I'm like, "Yeah, of course."
Duh.
With the amount of time I spend on Twitch,
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't got nothing else better to do. So,
Yeah, no,
you know,
no, I've never got any special treatment in any streams besides one. It's David's.
being single, work the overnight shift. I mean, even when I worked during the day, streaming still took precedent over my job because I preferred being on stream than going to my job. That's beside the
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
beside
yeah,
the
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
But now, mostly my entire day is free. So what else am I gonna do? That's when I'm disappointed that I look on Twitch, nobody's streaming.
Yeah. Yeah. I also don't stream during the day. Yeah, I know, it's just horrible. No, I watch like during the day. I usually watch like Kit Boga or something.
Well, that's where I started streaming during the day more because of my demographic. I never realized how much of a demographic I have in the UK.
Do you really?
Yeah, yeah.
You
I have
lucky
a.
bitch.
Well, that's because your Mr. Lloyd has spilled over too.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know for sure. But like he's never well, I don't play any games that really he even watches.
Yeah,
But
he likes picking on me when I play Call of Duty.
oh yeah, he's oh
he,
god.
he like well, that's not true. Lloyd likes picking on me in general.
Yeah, I was like he picks on me no matter what game I'm playing
Yeah,
or what
yeah.
I'm doing, what I'm wearing, what I'm talking about, what I say, what I eat.
I remember I was playing Mafia.
I could take up the mic and fart into it, and he would have a problem with it.
I was playing Mafia 2. Lloyd was the one. I kept dying in a mission, and Lloyd was the one that kept the tally on how many times I died.
Don't you love that? Like, thanks for the ego boost, Lloyd. You're the best.
And then,
You really humble me when I don't need to be humbled. Okay?
yeah, it's like, yeah, Lloyd. No, I don't need an ego boost. If anything, you need to build me up. You need to build me up a little bit, bro.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
need to
for
build
real.
me up
Like,
a little bit, bro.
I need you to tell me I'm doing well.
Yeah, I don't think Lloyd would do that though.
I'm about 5 seconds away from crying.
I don't, but I mean that's this might actually be a good. I mean, I don't know if you. Well, as you can tell, both of us could keep talking for a while, but this
Oh,
actually brought up a question that I had of something you learned from Twitch.
oh, something I've learned from Twitch because I'm very much an oversharer with life, but I think one of the most important things that I've learned is it's okay to have privacy.
Right. I agree.
It's okay to not share everything with everybody.
Right.
Um, and people will demand for you to share everything because they feel like they're entitled to it, but it's okay to say no.
Right. And I mean, I will say that, some people may misinterpret it as me being. I remember somebody. Well, actually, I don't know if you mentioned him. Yes, I don't know if you met him yesterday, but I know he was in stream for a bit. But Myers,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah,
one of Tack's friends,
yeah.
he early on asked about my relationship status, and I said I don't share my relationship status in stream.
Yeah,
And I don't know if the tone of my voice or the inflection, maybe he misunderstood that I was saying it as in a way of, I have in the past said it in a way that was meant to be taken as I'm being an asshole. You shouldn't ask that. Fuck
yeah,
off. But
yeah,
I wasn't intent. I didn't mean it that. And I apologized to him after the fact. But that's one of the things I don't share in stream
yeah.
because I don't feel like it's needed for people to know that.
Yeah, because you're not there to date people. Why does it matter?
Right, and even if if I was dating somebody, by now I've been doing this, 6 days a week, pretty much for the last, or 5, 6 days a week for the last year and a half. If I was dating somebody, you guys would know.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
you know, you guys would know
Exactly.
because the
You'd be surprised. When I first started streaming, I was literally living with somebody and dating them, and I dated them for about, I don't know, probably a year into my streaming career, maybe a little bit less. Nobody knew.
well, you would know if the person would want to, because I have a tendency to encourage people to actively get involved in things that just to like see that side of me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
see things I'm passionate about.
yeah,
Because I did an Instagram video showing off my memorabilia collection because I have nearly 300 items of wrestling memorabilia scattered around my room,
damn.
and you could hear in my voice when I'm doing the video. My entire floor was occupied, my entire desk, my bed, the other side of my floor was occupied, and you could hear it in my voice, the passion and the excitement in my voice when I was talking about the collection.
Yeah,
And that's what like I guess it's part of my personality that I encourage people to want to be a part of that aspect of to share in things I'm passionate about.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? And it's
yeah,
just that aspect. It's like I'm not gonna force anybody, but
yeah,
it's like I feel like I have that infectious that infectious way about me that because of how involved I get and how you know how much of an Italian I am in the way I talk. I talk with my hands.
You're
Um,
Italian, huh?
yeah.
Sorry.
um,
Didn't mean to be, racist or whatever. I don't know. But I think
hey,
I'm Italian too, a little bit.
then it's not race. You're just showing off the you're
The
showing off that
Italian, huh?
you're showing off the meatball side.
Oh gosh, I wish I was Italian though on the real. Sorry, but keep going.
But it's just like I even mentioned it in the video that I could see how passionate and into what I was saying I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no, absolutely.
people I feel like gravitate more towards that, but it's like some people in I would say in your case have a hard time putting aside their preconceived notions
Yeah,
to accept the fact that this is something this person actually cares about and maybe I should give it a chance.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yep, absolutely.
And I would say something I learned from Twitch is that there is a difference between toxic and like positive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Not everyone, even people in your friend circle, is positive.
yeah,
Some people you're you have to remember that you're online. And that you will find people that are positive and worth keeping around and worth, giving a chance to, you know,
yep,
and I would say, that you're one of the people that I gave a chance to, and I'm glad I did.
Aw, how sweet.
Because you're positive, you're positive,
Sometimes.
I like your personality.
Scramble for words. Scramble for words.
That's the
Yeah, you're a person, so.
that's what people say. This is the. Are you sure you didn't want to script this? It makes it more real when you get lost on your words and not
Yeah.
like a robot repeating words that you've said 87 times and you pre-recorded
Yeah.
the content. It makes it more real,
Yeah, that's true.
but yeah, I mean, your personality and just just everything. It's just, I never,
Horrible.
yeah, this is the last time we're talking to this is the last time we're talking to each other. We just wasted, the last 2 hours. We just wasted the last 2 hours.
Oh, God. Sorry, keep going. I don't do well with people complimenting me, so sorry.
Well, it's just like I never understood the term "I vibe with this person"
Yeah.
because I have one of my mods where before I came to Twitch there was a lot of terminology like cap and
Oh, gosh, yeah.
the Fungineer, the just a lot of
Yeah.
Twitch terminology that I never understood. And I
Yeah.
didn't understand, and I actually have one of my mods that is my translator for
Oh, I
Twitch
love
terminology.
That's great. Boomer status.
Yeah, I'm a proud boomer. I'm a proud boomer. But
I'm the
it's,
same way. You're fine.
I never understood what it meant to vibe with people
Yeah.
until I started vibing with people.
Yeah.
And I would say you're one of the first people I started vibing with on Twitch.
Aw. How sweet is that?
And now I'll stop complimenting you since you don't like it.
Thank God. Oh, makes me. I hate being complimented so much. I'd much rather somebody just talk shit to me.
I do too. I think it's just that I'm not used to being complimented.
Yeah.
I know that sounds extremely depressing.
Yeah, it's like, that sounds really sad. Are you okay? Do you want to talk about it?
I'm just not used to people saying positive things, and it's just like, again, that sounds depressing, but that's just
That's the point.
that's just my family. No, there's a reason
Yeah,
why
no.
There's a reason why when I have family parties we need alcohol.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, you add alcohol to my family party, somebody's gonna fight. So
Well,
get one or the other.
oh,
Yeah, no, and it is incredible too because you do make connections and you do quote unquote vibe with people that you wouldn't necessarily think that you would, which is so cool because you actually learn a lot about yourself
Right.
through those experiences. Because it's like, oh my God, wait, maybe I do like people like this.
right, and it's like, I mean, not to, send it back there, but I've found myself like maybe figuring out that maybe this is why I've struggled with relationships with women, that I've never taken the chance to vibe with them
Yeah,
before, like putting that emphasis on relationship. You know what I mean?
yeah, no,
And
absolutely.
not just trying to vibe. And then
Yeah.
I mean, again, when people say vibe check, what's that mean?
Yeah, no. Well, terminology today is so stupid.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree. I completely agree. But that's.
Vibe check. No.
I mean, I've been.
No, but
Go ahead.
that probably is one of your problems because honestly, my worst relationships I've ever been in are the ones that went directly into a relationship and didn't at least start as some sort of a friendship first.
Right.
Yeah. Now we're talking about your relationship issues. So what's wrong with you? No, I'm kidding.
This is transformed into a therapy session.
Yeah. Usually conversations with me actually do transfer to therapy sessions. But yeah, no, it is really cool. I do agree, backtracking just a teeny bit, that I don't know all the Twitch terminology either, and You're looked down upon when you don't.
I've been in stream, and I went and messaged to my translator, and I was like, "What does this mean?"
Yep.
Somebody said this, and what does this mean? And then, 90% of the time she just, does SMH and is like, really, Mike? This means this, and it's like,
And then you reply and you're like, what's SMH mean? No.
No, I know some acronyms.
Yeah.
That's what Google's for.
Oh, gosh. No. I would just do that to mess with them. Jesus.
I haven't done that, but
Yeah, no. Or like poggers. Like
that was it. That was it. I did it not. I had no idea, and I would send the translator on Snapchat. I was like, did I use it? I would say poggers? Did I use it right?
Yep. Yeah. It took me a while to know what poggers was, and I remember when I first started streaming, somebody used poggers, and I thought they were talking shit to me. Oh, it was great. Or not poggers, no pog. Wait, is it no pog? Oh God, no, that's no cap. Oh God, see?
Yeah.
Help! Yeah.
Well, and then there was the person when Jack Harlow's song was legit, popular. They would come up, it would be like, like the, what's poppin', and I would be like, oh, not much, and they were like, no, I'm referencing the song, and then I would actually have to go and watch the song to know what they were talking about.
Yeah, because who talks to you in song lyrics? I don't know.
Modern people, kids these days,
We're too old for this
kids these days, yeah.
We're too old for it. I don't know.
I'm proud of myself. I've made it 2 hours, and usually by now I make a joke about hot ones and say, and this is a part of the conversation where we go to the guest Instagram, and it's called Explain That Graham.
Let's explain that, Graham. Oh God, no. I could talk forever. So.
Well, actually, I'm surprised I didn't mention this, that what because you got sponsored by G-Subs.
I did, kind of. I did. I started my journey doing the G-Sub thing, and it's all geese. That's all it is. No, G-Subs. I don't know why that came out of my mouth. G-Subs. I started it, but honestly, it wasn't worth it. If I'm being completely honest, it wasn't worth it to me. I'm not trying to shit on gamer supplements, because they are great.
Oh yeah, I love
used
G-Subs.
them. And they taste good and stuff. And if anybody wants to use my link, no, I'm kidding.
If anybody wants to use her link, it's still in my Discord.
Oh gosh, no, but
I still have the advertisements right next to me.
Yeah, in a sense, I did. I never got past the. I think it was the second step, because I stopped promoting it.
What is the second step? Admit
you
that you.
Yeah, you gotta say sorry to your whole family and admit the wrong you did. And then, but that's my AA meetings. No, the second step is basically the first step is sell 10 units of whatever they have, not units, 10 of their crabs, right. And then after that, there's another number you have to hit that I just never. People probably still use my code. I just don't ever ask for their shipping number.
Well, I guess it's good that it took this long for me to bring it up, even though G-Subs is right. The G-Subs stuff is right next to me.
Yeah, my bad. I'm not trying to shit on anybody.
Oh no.
No, I'm looking into other sponsors, because there's a crap ton of sponsors that'll sponsor people from Twitch, all over the place.
Well.
So, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's first speak to the idea of how surreal it was getting a sponsorship, and any advice to a streamer looking to get sponsored.
Well, actually, that wasn't my first partnership, in a sense.
Right.
So way back in the day, somebody was in my stream who developed games, and they would give me free keys to the game, and they would give me 3 or 4 to give away during the stream, and it would be early releases of the game. So that was my first taste at being sponsored, or whatever you want to call it. And then after that, I was doing the whole New World thing, and I became one of their like creators, whatever. But then I found out pretty much everybody can get into that, so that wasn't that exciting. And then the gamer supplements thing, yeah, it was incredible when it happened.
Right.
Even though it wound up not being as glorious as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Yeah, it was a really cool moment because I felt like, holy shit, I'm like a real streamer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And that's, I mean, I disregard the idea.
How long have you been? You work with gamer supplements, don't you?
No, I've messaged them a few times. By the way, G-Subs, I'm still waiting for your. No, I'm only kidding.
No, seriously.
I emailed them a few times, but they never got back to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I do think TAC reached out to me about that. They may have stopped doing it because they start this like, it's such a high threshold that you have to meet in the beginning.
Right.
That it's super hard to get past that first step anyways. I mean, you'd think 10 sales, easy, but it's not.
Right.
Because a lot of people aren't using gamer supplements.
Well, I noticed it on someone's YouTube video. They were actually sponsored by G-Subs. And I was like, oh, maybe that's why they never responded back, because I didn't meet like a minimum requirement for to be in the sponsorship program, period.
Yeah, they might have some sort of a...
No, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I know I'm still classified as a small streamer, being under 1,000 followers, but...
But I hate that!
Well, I do too, and that's where, like, I mean, of course I do. I don't want to be just like everybody else and go and play Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh God, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's the easiest sponsorship to get
it's
in the
like
world.
I could have had a raid sponsor. I could have had a raid sponsor, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to be. That defeats the purpose of everything I've done with my stream on this platform, of being different.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. I said to people, I was going to play raid and not get it as a sponsorship, and they're like, no, if you can get it as a sponsorship, that would be stupid. And I'm like, no, it would allow me to be different.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, if I'm being completely honest, I do agree with them, because I feel like if you're going to do something, you might as well be paid for doing it.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, hindsight, but that's beside the point.
You're a little stubborn. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not shitting on anybody who does have Raid Shadow Legends
no, not at all.
sponsors, but...
I'm just Italian. We're stubborn.
Yeah, no, for sure.
We like to complain.
Yeah, no. I think... Like I was saying, though, I think one of the reasons why gamer supplements probably didn't get back to you is because they probably stopped the program.
Right.
Because I don't know how much it was actually helping them.
Right.
To be completely honest, because people gave up. Like, I joined the community, I'm part of the Discord and stuff, and I, in the beginning, would go to people's streams that were trying to get sponsored by gamer supplements, and, like, in the infantry program, that's what they call it. And, most of them have been in the infantry for like years, and they can't get to that sponsorship. Like, it didn't.
Right.
They are not selling their product, and one of the reasons is because they don't really give you product. I mean, they'll give you samples, which is great. Like, I got a bunch of free samples. That's amazing. But like, you have to buy the shit if you want to try to sell it.
Right.
And then you don't get anything from it if you're in the infantry. So like, I haven't seen a dime from gamer supplements. Not a dime.
Which, by the way, if you guys still want to use Sammy's link, it is still in my Discord.
Oh, gosh. No, but yeah.
I believe it is in the self-promotion tab of the Discord.
No, but if you're looking into sponsorships, I will happily send you... There's like a link with a bunch of different Twitch sponsorships that you could go for. Like Corsair. They'll just send you free Corsair products and stuff.
Well, yeah, because it's like... I know... A lot of people probably go through this, and this is one of the reasons why I'm glad I brought it up before we finished, is that a lot of people, especially in my position where, you're under 1,000 followers, you maybe get like a handful of viewers a stream, that you feel like all the sponsorships are designed to go to the people that are going to make the sponsors the most amount of money.
Oh, absolutely. That's just like the smart business model.
And it's like... nothing is designed for the smaller streamers to help bring the smaller streamer. Like no company is out there being unique and appealing to the smaller streamers to bring them up.
Absolutely.
To have brand loyalty, because they're the ones that got them noticed. They're the ones that started helping them make money and get more attention and all that shit. And it's like, well, I mean, I could have did the same thing when I did the charity stream, but I went with a smaller charity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know how I prefer to do things.
Yep.
And that,
That's a good idea, by the way. Your suicide prevention month or whatever that you did the week. I might steal that from you.
go ahead. I did titles
Not
appealing.
actually steal it from you, but you know what I mean.
I did
Join you in
I
the
did
money
titles.
raising.
Well, I can put you in because they're gonna do probably something next year. But I can put you in contact with the owner of the charity.
Perfect. And maybe we can do like a tandem stream on it or something.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Um, but yeah. Even when um, even when I did it in what October is, I think October is Suicide Awareness Month, right, or Suicide Awareness Week, or something like that.
Okay.
I even did it where I had the suicide hotline number as my title.
I love that.
And I still have it on my bot. I still have the suicide hotline number as one of my bots that come up during stream.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, I love how we're segueing back and forth between.
This is just me. I have ADHD, man. I'm sorry.
No,
I told
I
you I
do
was
it all
gonna
the.
run this thing off the rails.
I do it all the time, Sammy. I do it all the time.
Okay.
But it's just like, and yes, to answer your question, yes, I would love that if you would send that. But I know, because speaking from experience, a lot of people feel like there's no avenue for smaller streamers to go to find that sponsorship, to get them noticed, so other places could get their attention. Because it's like, I mean, I can, I'll announce it now because, hopefully, I'll talk about it now because hopefully I've heard back from them between now and, when this gets published.
Yeah.
That I was actually in contact with a charity or a foundation promoting awareness for CTE.
Okay.
And I contacted them saying, look, I'm basically, somebody that thinks that there's not a lot of awareness for CTE, and I would love to, I'm a streamer, blah, 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 blah. I would love to work something out to maybe get more awareness on CTE. And I forgot that I messaged them. I forgot that I emailed them. I went back, looked at my emails, and I saw they actually responded. I'm like, oh shit, they actually responded.
Isn't that an amazing feeling?
Yeah. When I sent them back, and I hope, because they messaged me back probably like a day or two, or maybe it was probably a day or two after I messaged them. And I'm like, oh shit, it's been, they messaged me on this day, they messaged me back on Thursday, I messaged them on a Monday. It's like, oh shit, I hope they didn't take anything, like I came up with the excuse of thinking that I didn't want to rush a response back, like didn't want to immediately respond back to them, and I took the time to come up with a positive, the right idea, and it's like, I am so used to messaging, people, even going back to running my website and, looking for affiliates and looking for advertising for the website. I gave up because I was tired of not getting response and getting ghosted. I get ghosted more by companies asking for sponsorships than I do by women asking for dates.
Love that. No, but I mean, it really is true. It's almost like your messages fall on deaf ears because nobody's really reading it anyways. So, and you take so much time and effort into writing it out. Like all the sponsorships that I've tried to go for, you take so much time and there's so much weight on your shoulders to get it right, and then nobody answers you.
Right. And that's where.
Why did I just take all the time doing that?
And that's where I was getting anxiety with the charity stream, where I understand, don't get me wrong, that the owner of the charity has an actual job. He can't spend his entire, every waking moment working with the charity like he would love to. But I wasn't I was falling, he wasn't responding back. I was getting anxious. It's like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. I've never done anything like this before. I got to make sure everything's good, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's why I was happy I had two of my mods, yes, one of which being Tack, that they kept me grounded. I could go to them and be like, run ideas past them and, segue this is what the guy said, this is what, because I even played Rocket League. I was like, I wanted to get the guy on and introduce him to the people so they knew who we were raising money for.
Yeah.
I wanted him on for an interview, but he came on and played Rocket League with us, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
And that's what I said to the CTE.
Real cool, though.
That's what I said to the guys with the CTE Foundation. I would love to just bring somebody on to the stream and have them be able to debunk,
answer questions, expert on the topic.
Right. And it's something different than just running a fundraiser, because I feel like the problem with running a fundraiser is it starts and stops with the fundraiser.
Hmm.
It doesn't open the conversation.
Yeah. And people don't really take anything away from it other
Right.
than feeling good about donating a little bit of money.
Right. And that's the problem, and that's also why I did a 3-day charity stream instead of a 1-day subathon, because I wanted more of an opportunity to raise money, more of an opportunity to keep people talking about it. And that because but yeah, I mean that's the main thing, that it's just like up until this year I was surprised when the charity that I worked with actually responded back.
Yeah.
It's like I look at the stuff that Streamlabs provides with the apps that they provide with the music and sponsorship opportunities. Like you can get Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship through both Streamlabs and Stream Elements. But 90% of the other ones average 50 viewers, average 100 viewers. And it's like, why are you giving me this opportunity to see these sponsorships if I don't have that and meet those requirements?
Yeah, where you can't reach it. So like what is the point?
How about
It just makes you feel bad about yourself.
right, and I already have Lloyd for that.
Exactly. Jeez.
I don't need other people.
Kicking you while you're down. You know what I mean?
Damn it, Streamlabs.
I know, for real. No, that is really frustrating and annoying, because it's just like, why am I not as valuable as those people that are getting that many views? When in reality, can we just talk about this really quick?
Right.
When in reality, when you have a smaller community, they trust you more.
Right.
They're more willing to do things like, oh, you're being sponsored by these people, I'm going to support these people because they're sponsoring you. You have a tighter knit community.
Right.
And I don't think these sponsors realize that.
Right. Or the third party providers should have opportunities reachable for the smaller streamers, where you can say, oh, if I get 10 average viewers or 15 average viewers, I can apply for this sponsorship.
Yep.
And it's like, because then it would, again, bring the community together, because they're working towards a goal together. I know, because the amount of random shit that I hype up, it's, it doesn't bring anybody together, but, I mean...
You try.
I tried. The charity stream did.
Exactly.
But that's the thing. It's like we work toward it. Well, I have the mentality of, somebody that's watched wrestling for 24 years, that if you hype up a specific day, a specific event, a specific thing, and you keep reminding people about it, they'll remember and be more likely to show up.
Yep.
It's a simple concept.
Exactly. And like, even if it was like a percentage based thing, to where if you have lower than an average of, like, let's say 15 views, right?
Right.
You get less percentage of sales, that's completely fine.
Right.
But like, at least give the little guy a chance.
Right. And that's why I would love the opportunity to, not, well, I would love the opportunity to be, well, as you can tell, I don't need to be sponsored by a company to throw advertisements for the company into stream.
Yeah.
But actually, having that, that would just mean I play Rocket League more.
Yeah, and at least it's not a one-way street. You know what I mean? It'd be a two-way street. They're
Right.
supporting you and you're supporting them.
Right.
Especially, and that's also really nice, too, when you really love the product that you are trying to promote.
Right. Like, for example, I would love to Logitech.
Yeah.
I was gonna-
use a lot of tech stuff.
I've been using Logitech stuff for years. But it's unquestionable. They wouldn't respond back to my email.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Even though maybe I'm not as developed on Twitch, but I have more followers than some companies on Twitter.
I know, right?
So, value that platform. Value the fact that I would push the hell out of it on Instagram. Just ask the guys on the charity. I was posting daily, probably ad nauseum, about the charity stream, to remind people about the charity stream. Nobody on Instagram probably came to the charity stream, but
You'd be surprised.
I would be. The amount of people that come in and say, what the fuck am I doing here?
Or even just like lurkers, you
Yeah.
know?
Got a lot of those.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. I'm one of them.
I always am wondering what they're doing over there, Got their penis in their hand, maybe? I don't know. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Is this when I say you are what you eat? But that's beside.
Sure. I mean, you can if you want, but
Well, I kind of did, but yeah.
I've been proper for too long. Sorry.
Well, I'm just reciprocating what you said to me before.
Word. Yeah, no, it is frustrating and annoying, and you'd think that. Well, I mean, I kind of get it from their standpoint too, because volume
Right.
is a big thing. So, like, if you have a lot of people, there's a higher chance that more people are gonna buy some stuff. But I also don't think they realize that you'd have like guaranteed sales because people trust you and they want to support you and they care about your career and they want to see you do well and succeed
Right.
and stuff like that, that you'd have guaranteed sales, whereas these big streamers are an if, maybe, might, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Cry? The same.
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably. I mean, you know, I don't cry anymore. I just gave up trying.
I mean, I'm crying right now.
Don't say that.
I've been crying this whole time.
People don't think I made you cry.
You did.
Oh,
Am I gonna make cry?
Oh shit! Don't tell Tack. Or you could tell. Or you could tell Tack. Well, yeah, you could probably tell Tack. Don't tell Lloyd. He'll probably be happy.
He's probably he probably jumped for joy like you deserved it.
What did you do to make you cry?
Exactly. Oh goodness. Ow! I need a new chair.
Oh, I mean, the fact that we've been riffing for the last, probably better part of the last hour, I would say, because everything after the everything before me asking about the sponsorship, like everything after asking about the sponsorship has just been other stuff that's popped in and just, you know, conversation. But now I'm thinking about the timestamp of how long. This is gonna be a long.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're gonna have to go through this and like.
This is. Oh no, I'm not cutting anything. Everything. This is gonna be raw and uncut, posted to YouTube.
Oh god.
This is gonna be good. I'm not doing that. I'm too late. The reason why I've never been good at content creation or never been good at editing is because I'm too lazy to go back and rewatch 2 hours of content.
That's terrifying. Oh gosh, I told Tacky made me cry, by the way.
Is he gonna respond back good?
I don't know. Let's see how much he cares. He probably doesn't. He's probably like, okay.
Well, I have my Discord menu open too because that's the background. But yeah, I mean, you know, this is when the part of this
You okay?
part of it that I'm not the best at of the outro, because this is when I usually turn back to Sean Evans and
Hot ones got it.
tap into the hot ones and say this camera, or more than likely just the camera you're looking at.
Yeah.
You know,
Roll out the red carpet.
roll out the red carpet for you.
Well, I have an OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding. Nothing wrong with people with OnlyFans. God, I sound like I'm just like shitting on people. I'm not.
Well, I guess the best way to say it is if you either have anything going on, like any big plans or any last words that you would want to say before we wrap up.
Let's see. My last words will be, in the wise words of Bob Ross, happy painting.
You know, I could always go into the. I can always go to the. I don't know if you know interviewers, I guess you would call them. Desus and Mero, they're on Showtime. They have their little, you know, like Sean Evans has his little things. They have, what would your neon sign say?
Let's see. Okay to look at, scary to talk to. I actually don't know. I don't know what it would say. Oh god, tag message me 3 times!
then now I'm gonna go run for cover.
It would say pretty mediocre Twitch streamer. Yeah. That's about it. I'm not gonna promote myself. Yeah. Go watch Wrestling Express on Twitch. That's how I promote myself.
I'm probably live now, but
They'll key into your stream. They'll be like, "Wait, what?" No, but seriously, you guys should go check out Wrestling Express on Twitch. He's a very sweet guy. And he streams a bunch of games that are different and fun. And yeah, there you go.
well, I appreciate you, Sammy. I hope you know that, and I appreciate that you took the time to chat with me about, who knew there was so much to talk about when it came to Twitch.
Right? I know.
Yeah.
Jeez. And now I got to stream. It's horrible.
Today's my day off, so that I was like, wait, I was, as we were talking, I was like, wait, is it day off? Am I streaming? Because I got work later, and I'm like, oh, I'm running. I can always push back the day and be like, yeah, I had more fun talking to Sammy. I chose to talk to Sammy.
Hold on. Tack is calling me. Oh God, I gotta do some. Oh Jesus. Oh no, I'm scared.
For you, the viewer, this is an inside joke between the three of us.
Okay.
Not that I think there's only.
No.
Not that I think there's only three of us watching. Three of you what? Three of you and all.
Oh God. Sorry, keep going. I'm sorry to cut you off. Jesus, this
No,
scared me. Tack's never personally called me before in my life. Oh no, I think I screwed it up. I think Tack hates you now. Oh shit.
He hasn't messaged me yet, so.
Oh no.
No, it adds to the bit, Sammy. It adds to the bit. That's.
He never shows up in either of our streams ever again.
We did a bit at work last shift where
Yeah.
I made somebody misheard something I said because I was talking about Columbia branded mattresses because I work at a clothing store.
What?
And they misheard it and they just heard the Colombian part. So they thought we were talking about somebody that is Colombian. And then he started going. Then the bit continued. The snowball kept rolling about how oh, don't mention the cartel. It's like, and it was just like a continuous bit for like half hour, 40 minutes of just continuous laughing about how and it took me the longest time to realize he misheard what I said. He heard me say something about Colombian mattresses, and he thought I was talking about Colombian.
Oh my God.
That's why I just love bit. I just love doing bit.
I love that.
But on that,
She's just so confused.
on that note, random outro.